I made my cheating wife confess what she did to her family and friends. If she didn't confess, I would divorce her. She did confess, but now she has become isolated and she spends all her time crying. I am 34 and have been married to my wife, 32, for 5 years, and we have 3 children. A few months ago, I found out from my wife's text that she had been cheating on me, and I confronted her about it. With the text in front of her, she confessed to it and gave me an entire breakdown of her affair, which had lasted for a month. I was devastated and asked her why. She gave no excuses for it and said she had caught feelings for her affair partner which were wrong and she had acted on them. He was her coworker. I asked her if I lacked in anything, and she said no, and she was in tears. I needed a few days to process this. My wife gave me space, but she asked me many times to reconsider divorce because it would uproot the lives of our children. She said she would do anything I wanted for the rest of my life. After a week, I decided that I needed only one thing from my wife to completely forgive her, and that was to call each and every one of her friends and family and confess to her affair. I told her that was my only condition. She was really hesitant and asked me if I could reconsider the condition because this would ruin a lot of her friendships and family relationships, but I told her this was what I needed as a part of my forgiveness process, and that if she didn't do this, I was going to start looking for a divorce lawyer. Over the next week, my wife made a phone call to all of her friends, parents, grandparents, siblings, uncles, aunts, pretty much anyone she knew, and confessed to her affair. It was hurtful, and there was a lot of crying. My wife was hurled with a lot of shouting. By the week's end, my wife had called everyone I had wanted her to call. It has been a few months, and my wife and I actually have a really strong relationship now. However, my wife has pretty much become isolated from her friends and a lot of her family. This has hurt her a lot, and she spends a lot of nights crying. But she says this was worth it for our relationship and for our children. Have I gone too far? Best comments. I understand why they female friends could abandoning her. I bet the husbands and boyfriends definitely don't want her around then because cheaters will always be cheaters and will normally talk their friends into doing it. I just feel like that's embarrassing for you too. You stayed with a cheating spouse, like your wife shit the bed, then had to tell her whole family and friends she shits the bed, while you were in the bed sitting in the shit. I don't understand what you can possibly win from this. I hate cheaters, but I don't understand what you're trying to do here. I guarantee you, your relationship is not stronger than ever. The public humiliation you put her through will stay with her until she explodes. It would be okay thing if she told a bunch of lies about you, and it needs to be corrected. I just don't know what you're trying to do here. I understand the need to get your wife to confess to someone other than yourself. But from the number of persons you describe, it seems to be more of airing the dirty laundry. Aside from parents and siblings, what was the point of letting other relatives and friends know? Update: 35 days after the first post. I feel really guilty even typing this out, but I am now considering a divorce. While I still love my wife, her personality has completely shifted over the past few months, and she is no longer the joyous and energetic person I fell in love with. Instead, she's always sad, gloomy, cries often, and very, very clingy to me. I admit that I made a mistake asking her to confess her affair to everyone because it has just changed her personality completely. I wish she could go back to her joyous nature, but I don't know if it's possible anymore. I am not sure how to tell my wife I am considering divorce because it would just break her heart. Best comments. She needs therapy. So does OP, to be honest. He thought they had a strong relationship when she was crying herself to sleep most nights, after making her confess her affair to everyone he wanted, effectively isolating her from everyone. And now he minds that she is clingy. I've been cheated on, so I know it hurts, but that's about as graceless a way to handle it as I've seen. The OP never wanted to reconcile. He just wanted revenge. That was so obvious. He's a sadist. And now that he's isolated her and broken down her self-esteem, he's going to leave her so she has no one. He's a horrible person. I hope every relationship he has after his divorce is with a cheater. If there's something she could have done to avoid this, so sad she slipped and fell into her coworker's D.